Rise, shine, give God the glory, glory, rise, shine, give God the glory, glory, rise, shine, give God the glory, glory, children of the Lord. One more time. Rise, shine, give God the glory, glory, rise, shine, give God the glory, glory, rise, shine, give God the glory, glory, soldiers of the Lord. Good morning, great day, fantastic, marvelous morning. This day we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Why? Because our Creator woke you up this morning and woke me up this morning, and for that I know I am grateful. Welcome to January the 18th Perspective with Edwina B. That's me, y'all. Miss Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. You'll know why in a minute or two. The Alcoholics Anonymous Daily Reflections for today. Would a drink help? Incorporating the 5 agreements by the Ruiz family. I do not represent Alcoholics Anonymous, but I've been a proud and grateful member for over 32 plus years. And if it's God's choice to wake me up on February the 23rd of 2023, right, we will be celebrating 33 years in recovery. Nor do I represent the 5 agreements or the Ruiz family. But since I picked up this book, it has changed my life, has elevated my spirituality, right? Incorporating it with my 12 spiritual principles. I'm on fire. So therefore, on February the 23rd of 2023, I will be relaunching my Free to Hope World Tour as a transformational speaker, right? And so, listen, y'all know who I am, what I am, but what God has prepared me to be and to do. If you need a keynote speaker, if you need a workshop leader, if you need a seminar, a trainer, presenter, instructor, here I am. Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. What you see is what you get. But yes, I am relaunching my Free to Hope. From recovery, emerge empowered. Why? To help others prosper equally. Free to Hope. And that's why I am relaunching, right, my Free to Hope World Tour. And will be incorporating the 5 agreements by the Ruiz family. And I am in a workshop with Dr. Sana, right? Right, a P3 University. 3 is my blessed number, right? And so with the 3 of those vehicles, oh boy, world, watch out. Only to save one more person. And so I'll talk to you a little bit more about that later. Right now, I need to focus on the topics today. So before we get started, you know I need you to woosah. I need to woosah because I'm one hype. Can you imagine me on crack? I'm one hype person. But I'm hyped for my Creator and what He has done for me. So I'm going to ask you to join me in a moment of silence while I play this song that is dedicated to my daddy. Peace, be still. And as an alcoholic in recovery, drug addict in recovery, and all the whole lifestyle, those things are still there, right? Until God removes them. I often have to remember this song, Peace Be Still. Join me, okay? Close your eyes. Master, put your man
raging. Oh, the billows are tossing high. The sky is overshadowed with blackness. Oh, no shelter in night. Carest thou not as we carry. Oh, how can thou lie asleep? It seems like each moment so madly threatening. Oh, a grave, a grave, a grave in the air. Repeat, get up, Jesus, because
I tell you, Lord, yo. I hope y'all can understand why these tears of joy, I just can't help it, right? Flows from my very spirit because he saved me. He saved a wretch like me. And no matter what the world is saying, what I'm saying to myself, right? I need to ask for peace, to be still, to breathe, and to be in the present. And so when I practice that as often as I can, I'm reminded, right, that I need to live in the present. It wasn't that way on February the 22nd of 1990 while getting high and doing all kinds of sexual favors for my own stepson. We both were 34 years old at the time in our addiction. And when everything was said and done, he proceeded to want to harm me like any bitch in the street. And after he hit me the first time, I started running. And I believed I was running for my life because under the transformation of addiction, you don't know what we are capable of doing. And I got a flashback from my past. When I was a child, I used to hide under the bed for safety. I was afraid. I didn't want nobody to find me, hide and seek. And that flashback prompted me to see that slew of cars. And I said to myself, if I just get underneath that car, he can't get to me. And I put myself underneath that car. You know how much space is between the car and the curve? I only weighed 90 pounds, right? My face was sunken in, my eyes were dark, my hair was a wreck, right? But most importantly, my spirit was dead. And underneath that parked car, my life flashed before me. How at the age of 34 did you get underneath this parked car, Edwina? Aspirations of being a model, an actress, a phys ed teacher. You voted the most, one of the most likely to succeed. You were the class vice president. You were the co-captain of the cheerleader team. How did you get underneath that parked car? And then the ugly side of addiction, the rapes, the setups, the attempted suicides, being passed around like a bucket, spit on, called all kinds of names. How did you get here, Edwina? What's wrong with you? And when I say that, whatever force that was taken over, it had me holler out these words, whoever they say you are. Whoever they say you are, take me out this life now. Take me out now or show me a better way. And guess what, y'all? I haven't looked back since. I haven't looked back since. And because he did not zap me out, right? Because I heard about him, but he was a punishing God, I was taught. And he put me on a pathway to recovery to prepare me to be sitting here before you this moment, this day, right? To share with you that people with the disease of addiction, and we all have some kind of addiction, that we do, can, and will recover one day at a time if we embrace, internalize, dissect, evaluate, conduct surgery, and practice the 12 spiritual principles adopted by the Alcoholics Anonymous Fellowship over nearly 90 years ago. 12 spiritual principles that originated out of the Bible. But this is not a religious program. It is one of a spiritual program that creates a psychic change. All right. So I just thank God that I can be as transparent and as authentic as I can be, as the Ruiz family talks about in the four agreements, and as the 12 recovery principles have been teaching me, right? And so I always believe in transparency. What you see here is a mask. Oh, yes. When God met me underneath that parked car nearly 33 years ago, I looked nothing like this. And so, even though I demonstrate how we wear the mask, I am so ready to discard the mask, and have been and will continue to do, because I want to remain humble so that I won't never be humiliated again. Take off the mask, Edwina. Mm, 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 Take off the mask. If God accepted me just the way I was nearly 33 years ago, he accepts me the way I am now, as Cuckoo for Cocoa Pop says I am. I'm not done yet. These are masks too. Cocaine and alcohol took my teeth, but recovery gave me, I think this is my second or third set of dentures. But it goes to demonstrate how transparent I am, how authentic I am. I love me today. I am not afraid to be me. And I'm encouraging you all, whoever's listening to me, whoever this is for, and it may be just for one person, if you begin to take off the mask and incorporate these 12 spiritual principles along with these 5 agreements, and going to workshops like Dr. Sonia, right? P3 University, right? You can and will be prepared for things yet to come. And that's just to save one more. So I'm going to put these back in so I can articulate and pronunciate correctly. But guess what? It may come a day I can't find my dentures, and now you know that I'll come on without them. All right. Let's get to the topic today. Where's my glasses? Where are my glasses? Okay, here they go. Here they go. All right. So I'm going to read the reading for today, and I want you to listen with your spiritual ear, and I want you to read with your spiritual eyes what it has to say today. Okay? And here we go. January the 18th. Would a drink help? Go to aa.org, right? And the co-founder, Bill Wilson, Bill W., as he is known, states as a quote from the 12 Traditions and 12 Steps, page 23, by going back in our own drinking histories, we could show that years before we realized it, we were out of control, that our drinking even then was no mere habit, that it was indeed the beginning of a fatal progression. And the person in recovery shares his perspective. When I was still drinking, I couldn't respond to any of life's situations the way others, more healthy people could. The smallest incident triggered a state of mind that believed I had to have a drink to numb my feelings. But the numbing did not improve the situation, so I sought further escape in the bottle. Today, I must be aware of my alcoholism. I cannot afford to believe that I have gained control of my drinking, or again, I will think I have gained control of my life. Such a feeling of control is fatal to my recovery. Oh boy, listen. Every day is a great reading. Every day is a great reading. And I never know, even though I've been reading this stuff for over close to 33 years now, it's always new. You know why? Because when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so this hones in to what a lot of us who are in recovery dealt with and deal with sometimes on a regular basis. But depending upon how aggressive, how assertive you are, right, for your recovery, like you was for your drink or your drug or whatever addiction you have, oh, and it takes less energy, believe it or not. And so let's dive into the information, right? It says here, by going back in our own drinking history, we could show that years before we realized it, we were out of control, that our drinking, even then, was no mere habit, that it was indeed the beginning of a fatal progression. All right. So now, most people, a lot of people, don't like to talk about or go back and deal with their past. It's in the past. Let's forget it. Let's move on, so forth and so on. Oh, no, 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 no. We learned in Alcoholics Anonymous that we have a fatal disease called alcoholism. Whether you believe it or not, I choose to believe it. And it was during one of the times I was in rehab that this counselor, right, put me in a room with all my supportive staff and asked me, since nobody can tell you nothing, Edwina, why don't you tell us about what happens to you every time you pick up a drink or a drug? In essence, Edwina, tell us what your pattern is. And so I began to share my pattern, and don't have time to do it right now because I am on limited time. But after I shared my pattern, guess what? She asked me a question. Do you believe you are powerless over alcohol and that your life were unmanageable? And you know what? I said, you damn right. I heard myself tell myself the truth. Every time I picked up a drink or a drug, it happened and ended the same way 99.999% of the time. I heard myself tell myself the truth. And she said, Edwina, do me one more favor. Put your hand in front of your face. I put my hand. She said, what do you see? I said, I see my hand. Edwina, what do you see? I said, I see my hand. She said, Edwina, that's the problem. All you see is what you see. All you know is what you know. As long as you got your hand in front of your face, you will never get the help that's available. We suggest you put your hand down and let us tell you what we see, and you will get the help that's available. Wow! The light bulb went off. As long as I had my hand up, I wasn't letting you in, God, and nobody in. But underneath that parked car, I cried out to a God that I didn't know to take me out this life or show me a better way. And therefore, right, I got in touch with my pattern. And then through the fourth step, right, of Alcoholics Anonymous, it says to do a fearless and thorough more inventory of our past as far back as we can remember. Why? Because the information is there for us to review, evaluate, right? Change our perspective, and most importantly, learn from it, right? Because we can't change the past, but guess what? We can definitely learn from it. And so that's where we learn where those attitudes, ideas, behaviors, and the belief systems that the four agreements talk about was formulated. So going back into our history is crucial, right? Because we will see, if we're honest with ourselves, that there were times we thought we could stop and realized that we couldn't. And in the book it says, the one of the daily reflections, he had got to the point where most of us do. If I keep on drinking, I'm going to die. If I keep living, I'm going to keep drinking, right? I'm paraphrasing, all right? So you get the gist of it, right? So go back into your own history, whatever addiction it is, whatever adversity you have, and realize, right, how out of control you were, I was. And they said the moment you think you're in control, you're already out of control. All right, so let's go to the gentleman's reading. But let me first go back by uh, our co-founders, right? Because here I can inject the first five agreements by the Ruiz family. Be impeccable with your word, right? God was impeccable with his word. I was impeccable with my question. Take me out or show me a better way. Hmm? I no longer wanted to do harm to myself, to other people. I no longer wanted to live that life one more second. So I began unknowingly to me to be impeccable with my word. I don't want to use, I'm not going to use 1 second, 1 minute, 1 day at a time. All right. All right. So I'm impeccable with my word today. Right. And so the guy he writes, when I was still drinking, I couldn't respond to any of life's situation the way others, more healthy people could, right? And so if you go back into your history, you will see how people dealt with life by doing different things to escape. And some of them, if not a large percentage of them, using outside substance to deal with grief, to deal with celebrations, to deal with the rain, to deal with the sun, right? We seek outside substances to escape, right? We call it relax, remove the stress, right? But unknowingly to us who have the disease of addiction, don't realize that that starts the process of the progression. I learned all this in my 12-step program and through the 12 spiritual principles, right? And so I realized, like this gentleman, I could not drink like other people did. The smallest incident triggered a state of mind that believed I had to have a drink to numb my feelings, right? Again, going back to the second uh, uh, agreement by the Ruiz family. Don't take anything personally, right? Oh my God, are you kidding me? Right? What? From our childhood, we take everything personally, and still today, to some extent, we do take everything personally. But it's through the embracing and learning and evaluating, dissecting and practicing, right? What we need to unlearn in order to learn something new to give us a new freedom, a new happiness, a new joy, right? That starts within, right? And so I practice not taking anything personally, whether it's a pat on the back or what, or a jag at me. I practice because nobody say or do, right, is my fault, right? It's coming from their perspective, right? So he recognizes, right, that the smallest incident triggered a state of mind that he believed he had to take a drink to numb his feelings. And so it said the least. See, that disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful. It don't care. It don't care. It don't care. It don't care. And that's why when we come into recovery, we have more of the old belief system trying to learn, to unlearn something that put me underneath the parked car in order to learn something of a spiritual nature. Donald Lawrence says it eloquently. You are not a natural being having a spiritual experience. No, you are a spiritual being encased in walking this natural experience. And so it says here, the least you step on my toe, it's raining down. Listen, if you want to drink, you're going to drink, right? To numb our feelings. But we realize, like he said, the drinking did not change anything. The numbing did not improve the situation. So I sought farther escape in the bottle. And see, that's when you go back into your history, you can identify where, if possible, where you cross the line from social drinking to alcoholic drinking. I can't tell you where that line was and how it happened. It was progressive. It was gradual. Mm-hmm. It didn't want me to see. Huh? And the more I drank, the more I used, the more I had to participate in those negative, unhealthy situations just to get one more. Right? And so now I'm reading here. He says, but the numbing did not improve the situation, so he sought escape in the bottle. He said, today, I must be aware of my alcoholism. I must be aware of my alcoholism. And let me tell you, people say, Weenie, you go to the meetings every day, you doggone right. I drank every day, I drugged every day, right? And sometimes 24/7 until my body dropped out because I ain't had the sense to lay my behind down, right? And so today he says, right, I'm reminded of my disease of alcoholism by going to my meetings, by reviewing my history, by even doing what I'm doing now. What I'm doing now to help one more, not get one more, but to help one more, right? Oh, that's beautiful, right? And so today, he recognized that we are aware of our alcoholism. He states, I cannot afford to believe that I have gained control of my drinking. Okay. And so what he's saying, it goes to the third agreement, don't make assumptions. Edwina, you've been sober for going on 33 years. You can take a drink. You know what to do. You know how to control it. You know, I ain't making that assumption ever. Oh, hell to the no. I'm not making that assumption. I know I am impeccable with my word. I know that if I drink again, I'm telling the God of my understanding who met me underneath that parked car to kiss my behind, and I ain't going to do that for nothing and nobody. Oh, hell no. I'll tell you and come back and make amends in the 10th step, but not my creator. No. So I'm not going to make assumptions that I can ever drink again. Guess what? I don't even want to drink again. You see, I'm on a natural spiritual high. All right. And so he continues to say, right? I cannot afford to believe that I have gained control of my drinking. Or again, I will think I have gained control of my life, right? Such a feeling of control is fatal to my recovery. And so think about it. If we forget, we are doomed to repeat. We are creatures of habit. Mm-hmm. And so there's a saying in the fellowship that someone who had a couple weeks in recovery, he said, I look at these meetings as my doctor's appointment. I said, wow, all the time that I've been in recovery, I've never heard that phrase. Look at my AA meetings, my 12-step meetings as a doctor's appointment. Yes, because I need to make sure I am healthy and well just for today. And I get that by going to meetings, being around others in the fellowship, right? Reading some spiritual material, right? Out talking and getting out what I've been concealing, right? And I reveal it in order to heal. Yes, huh? So I am at the mercy of my creator. and this 12-step program that he put into my life, and as well as the other spiritual wisdom instruments that are at my beck and call. Oh, I am so excited about recovery. I'm in love with recovery. I'm in love with recovery. And so the fifth step, the next agreement, right? It says here, right? Don't take things personally. Always do your best, right? So if I'm impeccable with my word, right? And I practice not taking things personally. I practice not making assumptions. That means I'm going to do my best. And so, right, that's why I can sit here in front of you, no wig, no makeup, and no teeth, right? Right? Because I am doing my best, my spiritual best, and it is using this vehicle to convey the message. Stop looking at the messenger and listen to the spiritual message, right? And then the last agreement, right? Talking about, will the drink make it better? Oh, hell to the no. Huh? Would a drink help? No, right? And he said the last one is, and I'm gonna get off, y'all. I'm gonna get off, right? Right? It's be skeptical, but learn to listen. So, meaning, right, when we say things against ourselves, we are sinning. When we gossip about other people, we are sinning against them too, right? So be skeptical about what I say to myself, particularly if it's negative, and what I say about other people. Be skeptical, but learn to listen. And I'm going to end by saying, listen, I'm a part of this. I'm a part of this P3 University with Dr. Sonia, and I can't even remember the title of the workshop, but I'm on fire because I know that a drink won't help. What? But guess what? There is help out there to help me to broaden, to help me to enhance, and to help me be more creative, to help me be more prosperous, to help me be more spiritual, just to help one more. So thank you, Dr. Sonia and the P3 University. If God allows me and you to wake up tomorrow morning, we'll be back. Have a blessed day.